Hi, are you clueless about what to do with the GA4 platform? Where to start and what to look for? Don't worry, you're not alone. Let me give you some key dimensions and metrics to track growth, which you can use broadly. Before you enter the platform, the first thing you need to identify is what do you want to track. The most common thing people track are overall page performance and campaign performance. There are other things that people track too, but for the purpose of this video, let us look at page performance and we can talk about campaign performance after. You can use this as a baseline for other tracking too. Alright, so this is where you will land when you enter the GA4 property. This is the default page or the home page, and it gives you an overview of everything that is happening on your website. And because it is very broad, what we're going to do is we're going to skip it. We will jump straight into the reports section. As you can see here, most of the GA4 reports are split into acquisition, engagement, retention, and based on the type of business, there can be other reports like monetization or user attribution. Ideally, this is the structure you should follow during your GA4 setup too. Now, let's look at what each of these sections means and where you should go if you want to find information. Acquisition. This is where all the data related to how your user is being converted lies. So how the user is coming onto your website, all that information sits in acquisition. Your traffic, campaign, source, user, etc. sits in acquisition. Engagement will have information on what the user is doing on the website. So what are they clicking on, how long are they on the page for, what they're doing on the page, etc. Most of the information will sit in acquisition and engagement, so we're going to focus on this. Now, based on the information I've given you, where do you think page engagement will sit? That's right, page engagement sits in engagement itself. Hi, I'm Aish. I'm a data analyst who's worked in the digital world for over half a decade now. I've seen it all: Google Analytics transition, BigQuery setup, messy dashboards, and teams trying to make decisions with half-baked data. Working across FMCG, banks, super funds, and agencies, I've learned that the problems are often the same. Most stakeholders struggle with data, so I'm here to make it simple for you. So now I offer audits, training, and support to make your data useful again. So we have identified where to track the page engagement. Now let's focus on trying to understand what we need to look at. When you jump into the engagement session, you're going to see overview, events, pages and screen, and landing page. Now the page information will sit in landing page or pages depending on what you're looking at. Remember, landing pages are different to pages. Landing pages are when the user lands on the page itself. So their first landing. Anything after does not get tracked in landing page. And because we want to track the broad overview of the page, we're going to look at pages and screens. So you'll see this when you land on page views and screens. On the left-hand side, you will have your page path and screen class. You can change this to page title based on the requirement, and you can search whatever you want by just typing and clicking enter. So that'll filter your data down. I want to focus on the checkout page. Let's focus on checkout page. So on the page itself, what are the key metrics that you want to look at? The key metrics you want to look at is views or sessions, users, if they're active or not, and how long are they engaging for, and your primary CTA. So the difference between views and sessions, as I explained in the first video, is that views occur every time the user views the page itself. So if I am on the home page, go to the checkout page, go to the home page, I will have 2 page views on the home page, but I will have a single session. So if you're tracking page performance, page views are perfectly fine to use. Now don't get confused between page views and views. They're exactly the same thing. So if you just look at page views here, it'll give you the same numbers. Okay, so now that we know we're looking at page views, we next have active users. Active users are users who have an engaged session. Then you have your average engagement time. And then in here you have your event. You can change your event to anything. Here I'm just going to use first visit. Sometimes you can have an event like a click. In this property we don't track clicks. And then you have key events. Key events are what the business defines as essential. So say add to cart is one of the key events. So if you go click on it, you can swap to add to cart. So when you make these changes, as a broad overview, you can see that on the checkout page, there are 14,400 views, and out of them, 3,000 are active. As soon as I look at these numbers, you can say that there are repeating users on your website, that they're looking at the checkout page multiple times. And you can also see that they're on the page for an average of 2 minutes 5 seconds, which is probably high compared to most of the engagement that happens. You can also see that only 172 are first visits. And then you can see that there's only one add to cart that has 181K total revenue for that page within the time period. So this is how you can understand what is happening on your page, track its growth, try to identify anything that's going wrong. But yep, this is overall about what you can do when it comes to page engagement. If you're still not sure about what's happening with your GA4 setup, or if you need training, I offer 15 minutes free GA4 reviews. So we can jump on a call, screen share, and I'll show you exactly what to fix, or I can take you through what you're trying to understand. No pitch, no fluff, just clarity. There's a link below in the description. And if this video has helped you, please like, comment, and share it with someone who is still figuring out GA4.